All right, we're going to do a video now on reflections. It's a pretty straightforward video. First, the definition is that a reflection is a transformation that flips a figure over a line of reflection. Okay, so it just flips it. It's a rigid transformation. It doesn't change the size or shape of the object of the shape being flipped. And the line of reflection is simply the line where it's a symmetry, and we'll see how in a minute. Here's some facts. You might want to write down some of them. You might want to write down all of them. Just write down the ones that you think would help you the most. The pre-image of a reflection and the image of reflection are congruent. They're the same size, same shape. The line of reflection is a line of symmetry. Okay, so the line is where it's in the middle, and the line will be in the middle, and the two objects will be on the other side, and they'll be symmetrical. You can reflect over any line, any vertical, horizontal, even a diagonal line. We are going to only study reflections over the X or Y axis. Okay, that's what makes it pretty straightforward and pretty simple. There's only two things you got to remember. Okay, so if we reflect over the Y axis first, we have, I do my triangle. Here's the pre-image. You can tell it's a pre-image because it doesn't have the dashes, the prime, after the capital letters. And so I graph the pre-image, and then I reflect it over the Y-axis, okay, over the vertical line, and I got these points. And what I noticed is, after I listed them here, and then I listed the new ones, I noticed that only my X value changed. Instead of being a -6, it went to 6. Instead of being a -2, it went to 2. All right? So when you reflect over the Y-axis, the X values become the opposite value, and the Y values stay the same. So Y-axis, Y stays the same, change the X. And I drew this little graphic here if it'll help you. I drew a Y-axis and I wrote change X to opposite. Y stays the same. You could put that if you wanted to. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. All right? Then the other example, second example, very simple, is we're going to reflect over the X-axis. All right, so I drew my pre-image here, listed my points and their coordinates and everything. And then when I flipped it, I realized, oh, my X stays the same, but look at my Y went to the opposite. And even though I'm intersecting the Y-axis, it's okay because we're only going to flip over the X-axis, and that's going to be the line of symmetry. So when you reflect over the when reflecting over the X-axis, the Y value becomes the opposite value this time, and the X values stay the same. So I drew a little graphic again. Here's your X-axis here, and you just simply change Y to the opposite. All right, you can memorize that, or you can just kind of make sure every time you kind of do a little example in your head, and I think that'll help you the most. Okay, we'll do more of the examples in class.